For decades, biology had this dirty little secret. Researchers would look at the human genome, 3 billion letters of code, and they'd basically shrug at most of it.
Yeah.
They told us that 98% of our DNA was just junk.
Just biological noise. Leftovers from evolution that, didn't really do anything.
It's honestly wild when you think about it. It's like reading a book and assuming 98% of the pages are just typos because you don't understand the language.
Exactly. But then, all of a sudden, the lights turned on. We just found the instruction manual for that 98%.
And at the exact same moment, we're decoding the biological noise inside us.
We are drowning in digital noise outside of us. Andrej Karpathy just dropped this huge warning about a slopocalypse coming later this year.
2 frontiers colliding at once. One unlocking the code inside, the other just drowning us in code outside.
It is going to be a wild Wednesday.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It is Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. I hope you're having a thoughtful week. I'm your host.
And I'm ready to break this all down.
We have a fascinating stack of reports today, and it really feels like we are living in a moment of incredibly high contrast.
Oh, totally.
We're seeing the microscopic and the macroeconomic shifting at the exact same time.
It's like the interior architecture of humans and the exterior architecture of the internet are both being rewritten simultaneously.
Exactly. So for you listening in, here is the roadmap for today's deep dive. We are going to start with DeepMind's AlphaGenome. They have essentially turned the lights on in a very dark room of human biology. We need to understand why that 98% matters so much.
Then we're pivoting to a classic David and Goliath story. A 30-person startup called Arcee just took on Meta in China for $20 million.
Yeah, spoiler alert, they might have actually won.
Yeah.
We will also talk about the agentic future. Yahoo, Chrome, Amazon, everyone is pivoting to agents, and it is costing jobs. I mean, 16,000 people laid off at Amazon alone.
Right, we have to talk about the economics of that.
And finally, we'll hit some rapid-fire tools, including something people are calling the Siri killer, and the tools you might need to survive this slopocalypse.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's start with the biology. This one really caught my attention because junk DNA is a term, most of us learned in high school. It was just an accepted fact.
It was dogma. It was written in the textbooks.
For the longest time, science focused only on that 2% of DNA that codes for proteins.
The genes that make your eyes blue or your hair curly, that kind of stuff.
Right. The rest, the non-coding DNA, was treated like packing peanuts, just there to fill space.
Which in hindsight, calling it junk was pretty arrogant of us. We just assumed if it didn't make proteins, the building blocks, it didn't matter.
But nature is rarely that wasteful.
No, nature doesn't carry around 98% dead weight for millions of years.
But now, Google DeepMind has released AlphaGenome, and this feels like a watershed moment.
This is the missing piece. AlphaGenome is an AI system that predicts how mutations in that mysterious 98% affect gene expression.
Okay, let's pause on gene expression. I want to make sure everyone really gets that concept. When we say it affects expression, what does that practically mean?
Okay, think of your DNA like a massive house with thousands of light bulbs. We've known where the light bulbs were for a long time. Those are the protein coding genes. But a house isn't just the bulbs, it's the wiring behind the walls. It's the dimmer switches, it's the whole fuse box.
So the junk was actually the wiring.
Exactly. The non-coding DNA tells the genes when to turn on, where to turn on, and how brightly to shine. AlphaGenome is essentially mapping that wiring for the first time.
Wow.
It tells us if you cut this wire here in the non-coding region, the light in the kitchen goes out.
That is a huge shift in perspective. The source material used a really helpful analogy here about stacking blocks of discovery. I found it really helped me contextualize where AlphaGenome sits.
Yeah, I love this visual. It shows how AI has just systematically conquered biology. So first you had AlphaFold.
Right.
That solved protein structure. That was figuring out the actual shape of the Lego blocks.
Which was huge for drug discovery, because if you know the shape, you know how to attach things to it.
Precisely. Then came alphamescence. That showed us what happens when the blocks break or mutate, but only within the coding regions.
And now AlphaGenome.
It's the final layer. It combines multiple massive data sets on gene regulation to show us the rules for the non-coding regions. It can predict how a single letter change in the junk can cause a gene to malfunction.
It is staggering when you actually think about it. We are effectively turning the human genome into a programmable map.
We are.
But I have to ask, why now? I mean, why was this the hardest part to crack?
Because the signal-to-noise ratio is just terrible. In coding regions, there are strict rules. 3 letters equals 1 amino acid. It's a clear language.
Okay.
In the non-coding regions, it just looks like random chaos. You need massive transformer models, basically the same tech behind ChatGPT, to look at that chaos and find the subtle patterns that human eyes could never see.
Now, we should temper the excitement just a little bit. The report mentions this isn't clinical grade yet, right? You can't go to your doctor tomorrow and get an AlphaGenome scan.
Correct. It is strictly a research tool right now. And it's currently only trained on humans and mice. So don't expect it to cure rare diseases by next Tuesday.
But that raises a question for me. If it's just a research tool for now, why is this a headline breakthrough? Why should the person listening care about a mouse model tool?
Because it unlocks the 98% of instructions that actually control our biology.
That is the key. It shifts the entire map of discovery.
It does.
Speaking of shifting maps and finding efficiency where we didn't think it existed, let's pivot to the world of large language models.
Let's do it. From biological code to synthetic code.
There has been this narrative for a few years now, the scaling laws. You know, if you want to build a frontier model, something that can reason, code, write poetry, you need billions of dollars.
You need to be OpenAI, Anthropic, or Meta. You need a warehouse full of H100s and the GDP of a small country. That's the rule.
Or so we thought. Enter Arcee AI.
This story is just wild. They're a scrappy 30-person startup. They don't have a massive campus or, Microsoft backing them.
And yet they just released a model called Trinity.
A 400 billion parameter model built from scratch in 6 months.
For $20 million.
That number is just absurdly low in this industry. Usually 20 million is the coffee budget for these training runs. We are used to seeing training costs in the hundreds of millions.
So how did they do it? Is this some sort of magic trick, or did they actually find a better way to bake the cake?
It's efficiency over brute force. The CEO, Mark McQuaid, he's an interesting character. He came from Hugging Face.
Yeah.
He realized that most of the data giants feed into these models is actually, well, junk.
Yeah.
Kind of like the junk DNA we were just talking about.
So they just curated the data better.
Aggressively. They focused on high-quality, dense information. They also used really advanced model merging techniques, taking the best parts of different training runs and stitching them together.
And his motivation was fascinating, too. It wasn't just about saving money.
No, it was ideological. He wanted independence. He didn't want to rely on China-sourced models, and he was tired of Meta changing their licenses all the time.
He wanted a sovereign U.S. model.
Yeah, so he just built his own. And the performance isn't just good for a startup.
No, it's legitimately competitive.
It benchmarks against Meta's Llama 4 Maverick. It also goes toe-to-toe with China's GLM 4.5.
And the report says it actually wins in some key areas.
In coding, math, and reasoning tasks, the hard stuff, it beats them. It might lose on creative poetry or writing a generic email, but for logic, it's a beast.
That is significant. It comes in 3 flavors, right?
Yeah. You've got base, which is the raw model, large preview, which is instruction tuned to be helpful, and then true base.
True base. That one sounds interesting. What makes that different from just a regular base model?
It's zero post-training. It's designed for labs or companies that want a totally clean foundation to build on.
Okay.
See, most models come with safety filters or biases baked in by the company that made them. True base is pure clay. You can mold it into anything you want without fighting the original creator's hidden rules.
This really disrupts that whole bigger is better narrative. It suggests efficiency might actually matter more than raw capital.
It proves you don't need a $1 trillion market cap to compete at the frontier. It implies the moat that Google and OpenAI built, that we have more money than God. Moat might not be so deep after all.
So let me push you on this. Does a $20 million model actually threaten a company worth trillions? Or is this just a nice niche product?
Yes, because it proves efficiency and open access can outmaneuver raw cash.
It pushes the intelligence to the edge, and that efficiency is accelerating everything. Which brings us to our third segment, the agentic shift.
And this is where things start to get messy.
We are seeing a massive rollout of agents. And when we say agents, we don't just mean a chatbot you talk to. We mean software that goes out and does things for you.
Right. Action-oriented AI.
Yahoo just launched Scout, which feels weird to say. I mean, Yahoo is back in the innovation game.
Which is pretty cool, actually. It lets you chat with Claude while you search the web. But the key thing is, real links, no hallucinations. It's grounded in Yahoo's index.
Then there is Google Chrome. It's basically becoming an agent now.
Oh yeah, Chrome is eating the entire OS. It's doing everything. Auto browse, side panels, editing images. It's not just a browser anymore, it's a doer.
It can log into your Gmail, find a receipt, and update a spreadsheet without you clicking a button.
Exactly. And Airtable launched Superagent.
That one is for the real power users.
For sure. It can run 20 task-specific agents at once to compile research reports. I mean, imagine having 20 interns working in parallel for 30 seconds. That's Superagent.
And of course, Mark Zuckerberg is teasing Meta's 2026 plan, personal superintelligence for commerce.
Which is really just code for agents that buy things for you and harvest your data. They want an agent that knows you better than your spouse, so when you need toothpaste, it's already ordered.
But there is a cost to all this speed, and this is where the tone of the reports gets a bit darker. Andrej Karpathy, one of the godfathers of modern AI, is warning of a slopocalypse in 2026.
I love that word, slopocalypse.
It's terrifyingly descriptive. What exactly is he worried about?
It's the supply and demand of content. Agents like Claude and Codex have just gotten too good too fast. We can now generate 1,000 blog posts, 1,000,000 comments, or 10,000 videos in minutes.
We're generating content faster than we can possibly process it.
Exactly. We are flooding the entire digital ecosystem with slop. Low-quality AI-generated noise designed to be read by other algorithms, not humans.
It's the dead internet theory coming true. Agents writing slop for other agents to index.
Yep. And this efficiency is hitting the workforce hard. Amazon just laid off 16,000 people.
That's the second major cut in 3 months?
It is. And the internal memo was leaked. They explicitly said it was too streamlined for the AI race.
That is the brutal reality of this agentic shift. Companies are trading headcount for compute.
They look at the budget and say, why pay a middle manager $100K when $10K of GPU credits can run an agent that does the same reporting?
It's a massive capital reallocation. And it's not just Amazon. I mean, look at Anthropic. They just raised $20 billion at a $350 billion valuation.
But look at their cash flow. They don't expect to be positive until 2028.
So it's a high-stakes gamble, high revenue forecasts, $55 billion for 2026, but a massive, massive burn.
It's a land grab. And the territory is our attention and our jobs. They are betting that whoever builds the best agent controls the whole economy.
I have to admit, reading about all these super agents that can run 20 tasks at once, it makes me feel a bit inadequate.
Oh, totally.
There was a piece in the source material about the real reason you're still slow with AI.
I related to that so hard.
Even you. You track this stuff for a living. You're supposed to be the cyborg here.
Absolutely. I look at these tools, Airtable running 20 agents. And I'm still just trying to write a good prompt. I find myself falling into old habits.
Right.
I'll default to doing things manually just because it feels safer or because I don't quite know how to articulate what I want to the AI.
It's actually comforting to hear that. I think a lot of listeners probably feel that same AI anxiety.
I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. I feel overwhelmed rather than optimized half the time. It's the paradox of automation, right? The tools get faster, but we still have to direct them.
And that's the bottleneck, the human manager. If you don't know what to ask, the speed of the answer doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Speed without direction is just crashing faster.
Which leads to a really difficult question. If agents do everything, the execution, the browsing, the coding, what happens to the human workforce mentioned in those layoffs?
We move from doing the work to managing the slop in the strategy.
Managing the slop. That is a grim but likely very accurate job title for the future.
It's the new middle management. You're not writing the email, you're checking the email the bot wrote to make sure it didn't hallucinate a meeting with a client that doesn't exist.
Before we look at the specific tools that might help us manage that weapons for the slopocalypse, let's take a quick pause. We are back. Let's talk about the toolkit for 2026. If the internet is becoming this noisy, agent-filled jungle, what do we use to cut through it all?
The survival kit.
First up, something called Moltbot, or ClaudeBot.
People are calling this the Siri killer.
That is a bold claim. We've heard Siri killer every year for about a decade.
We have. But this one is different because it's always on. It runs your computer, it sees your screen, it remembers your workflows.
So it actually has context.
Deep context. Siri fails because it doesn't know what you were doing 5 minutes ago. Moltbot knows you just opened that invoice, so when you say pay it, it knows what it is. That's why it's going viral.
Then there is OpenAI's Prism. This seems targeted at a very specific demographic.
This is 100% for the scientists. It's a workspace powered by GPT 5.2.
It allows them to write and collaborate on research.
Yeah, and it's trying to accelerate the kind of discoveries we talk about with AlphaGenome. It's designed to reduce hallucinations in citations. It connects to real academic repositories. It's an attempt to keep science grounded in truth while using AI for speed.
We also have Kimi K2.5. This one is coming out of the Asian markets, right?
Yes, a new intelligent model. It excels in visual understanding and in code. It's really just another proof point that the model layer is becoming a commodity. Everyone has a smart model now.
And for the marketers, the people perhaps contributing to the slopocalypse, there's Rumora and AutoSend.
Rumora is fascinating and also kind of terrifying. It finds viral videos in your niche and places brand comments on them automatically.
That sounds like it absolutely contributes to the slop, doesn't it? That's literally automated noise.
It 100% contributes to the slop. It's bots talking to humans in the comments section. But it's effective.
And AutoSend handles transactional emails.
Boring but essential plumbing for the internet.
Yeah.
It ensures the receipt gets to you without a human ever having to hit send.
When I look at this list prism for scientists, automated viral comments for marketers, I wonder about access.
How so?
Are these tools for everyone? Or are we creating a divide where only the 1% you see in the headlines get the super intelligence?
They start with the 1%, but agents like Chrome make them accessible to everyone.
That democratization is key.
It is. The barrier to entry is dropping to zero. So the question isn't, can you access it? It's, do you know how to use it?
So let's zoom out. We have covered a lot of ground today.
From the microscopic DNA to the macroeconomic layoffs. A lot.
The theme of 2026 so far really seems to be the interior versus the exterior.
That's a great way to frame it.
On the interior, you have DeepMind unlocking the dark matter of our biology with AlphaGenome. We are finally reading the code that actually runs us.
We're looking inward and finding a programmable map.
And on the exterior, we have agents, Yahoo, Chrome, Moltbot managing our digital lives.
And potentially leading us right into a slopocalypse of infinite noise where we have to fight to keep our heads above water.
It is this tension between understanding our natural code and being completely overwhelmed by our synthetic code.
And the human is stuck right in the middle, just trying to figure out which buttons to push.
So what is the takeaway for you listening to this? If you're feeling that anxiety you mentioned earlier.
Don't just let the agents run on autopilot. That's the trap.
Right.
Look at those habits that are keeping you slow. Be the manager, not the bystander. If you just watch, you're going to get buried in the slop. You have to be the editor of your own digital life.
You have to direct the flow. You have to maintain your own agency.
Exactly. Agency over agents.
I want to leave you with a thought today. We talked about a 30-person startup beating Meta. We talked about an AI reading the 98% of DNA we ignored for 50 years.
Two things that were considered completely impossible just a few years ago.
Exactly. So if Arcee can beat the giants with efficiency and AlphaGenome can read the unreadable, what other impossible barriers in your life or your business are just illusions waiting to break this year?
That is the question.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you in the next one.